There's still people filing in. I want to get more in. Let's give it another 1 minute. 1 minute. Hurry up, man. Get in here. They're waiting back there. All right, whatever. We're going to start now. Welcome back to Kamehacon 2. Welcome to... Welcome to the Prince of All Panels 2. Like I said a few minutes ago, it's supposed to be Horikawa. We're going to make history with 4 Vegetas, but we're still making history because this is, as of today, the first and possibly last time we're going to have a panel ever. We're going to see one with the American or the English, well, 2 of them speak English, the American, Canadian, and Mexican/Latin American dub actors who play Vegeta together on here, talking to y'all for the first time. Maybe last, maybe not, we'll see. So we might as well bring them out right now. Are y'all ready to see Vegeta?
Yeah!
Are you ready to see another Vegeta and another? If you include Team 4-Star and Prince Vegeta, JB, we could have had 6 Vegetas here. That's a lot of Vegetas. Not enough for her, but plenty. All right, folks, without any further ado, let's bring him out first. He is the first man that my ears heard play Vegeta back in 1996. The inventor of over 9,000 and a guy whose wrath you will not escape. Please welcome back, after year 1, now here at year 2, from the Ocean Dub, Mr. Brian Drummond. So this man, of course, like I've said throughout the whole weekend, the Ocean Group in Canada, Vancouver, they put food on the plate for us to eat. And this next person took the role and just owned it. You know, the Prince of All Saiyans. He's got quite the resume. And, you know, you might also know him as Kuwabara, All Might, Piccolo, Yamcha, the Prince of Vegeta. Well, the Prince of the Saiyans, Vegeta, of course. I screwed that up. Chris Sabat.
Woo!
Thunder! Yeah! Thank you!
Last but not least, the man who has voiced Vegeta for 23 years in Latin America. He, you know, just, again, if you grew up on that dub or if you saw it on Telemundo, you heard Insecto. And for some reason in the Latin American dub, Vegeta called people insects all the time. I don't know. Please welcome, folks, damas y caballeros, bienvenido a Rene Garcia. Most viewed panel at this event. Vegeta is probably the most popular character in Dragon Ball. We're going to start over there and move over here with Brian, Chris, Rene. Why is Vegeta so damn popular? And why, well, let's just go with that one. Why is Vegeta so damn popular, in your opinion?
Come on, because he's so damn cute. You know, he's got just a phenomenal story arc. And to me, performance and things that I love to view are all about story. And Vegeta's story is amazing. He goes through so many ups and downs, and that's what we go through in life, so we can relate. Maybe not the mass murder part can we relate to so much, but we can relate to so many other aspects of his life. Love, hate, you know, greed and everything, and he's open to change, which we should all be as well. So, and look at those buns, come on.
I think what's great about Vegeta is that a lot of people, when they were growing up, they were like indoctrinated to believe that Goku was the best character. And everyone as a kid, they're like, well, he's the main character. He's on the posters. He's the best character. And I love the fact that all of you as adults have come to realize that Vegeta is actually the best character in Dragon Ball.
Woo!
And I've joked before with Sean about how Vegeta may have been based on somebody that perhaps bullied Akira Toriyama in school. Someone he respected, but at the same time never wants him to actually be the winner. But there's something about you just keep rooting for Vegeta, even though he never ends up getting the ultimate win. He has won our appreciation though. He's become a better person. He's become a father. He's become a family man. And in Super now, he's like a comic relief character sometimes. So yeah, I think people really can appreciate kind of a dude who's just willing to kind of adapt to the situation, you know?
Yeah, it's true. He's the most human character of all the Dragon Ball characters, I think. Because of what Brian said about this development of the character. The sacrifice in the Majin Buu saga, and the family thing. I agree. Can I say something in Spanish for the Latin?
Please, yes.
For the Latin audience. ¿Cómo están, insectos?
How are you, insects?
Do you know, my first experience in hearing any of the other voices on the show actually was the Spanish dub. Because at that time, we were unable to get the Japanese version of it. Funimation was not, I guess it got lost on a boat somewhere. And they're like, we need to start dubbing the show. So we had the Spanish version. And we weren't able to reference it all the time because we didn't have the technology back then to actually play both versions of it at the same time. I have no idea why, but for whatever reason we couldn't hear it. But whenever we were converting the episodes, I would have to listen to them as they were going through, and I always heard your voices on it. So
okay.
I heard your voice before
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. I heard your voice many times before I heard Ryo Horikawa's voice. So.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And which one do you prefer?
Since he's not here, I was. Oh, it's hard to play favorites. I mean, we've got all of North America covered here. So
I had to come up with a voice all on my own. I got to hear nothing, so these guys, I don't know.
So you didn't hear Horikawa at all?
No, well, this is back in VHS. This is
95.
They didn't play anything for us, so I had no clue what Ryo sounded like at all. Nothing. We just saw the visuals, and I was just doing my own thing, whatever that was at the time.
Yeah, the first time I ever heard Ryo's voice was on the first video game recording we ever did.
Yeah.
So that was it for us. I got to know him later, and he's just an awesome dude. I wish he could be here now.
Yeah,
Like,
such
it
a
sucks.
good guy.
He's awesome.
I was very excited to meet him, but
Renee, did you hear Ryo's voice when you first started? Like, what information
yes,
did you get about the
we
character?
do the
got
dubbing with the Japanese version. So it was weird because Japanese is a very different language from Spanish. So when a Japanese guy in the series said, I don't know, whatever, the finest flash or hello or whatever, they go like, and you have to say just hello. So it was very, very hard to sync the voice with that. Yeah, that's true.
May I ask, when you were dubbing it, would you record over the other language voice? Like, would they play the Japanese voice and you would dub on top of it with the Japanese voice, or would you reference it first and then they would play it silently and you would do it?
No, we reference all the time with the language. In the headphones,
Wow.
we heard the
You were lucky because I, like Brian, like when we were working on that show, we never got the references. We recorded all of Dragon Ball Z to silence. We didn't even have the music and sound effects, so we were just in a vacuum.
wow, that's hard.
It was hard.
Because dubbing,
Well, it was a
dubbing
strip mall in a
is-
bank, wasn't it? Where you...
Yeah, it was very small. Yeah.
Dubbing is it's in grand part a rhythm thing. I mean, we follow the rhythm of the actors, mostly in English. I made a voice of a lot of actors, not only in animes but in live action, like Ben Affleck and Keanu Reeves and Michael Keaton, and so on. So for us to hear the rhythm of the actors is very important because we follow them actually, and we follow the poses. No? It's basic for us.
Yeah, the problem with following the Japanese voice is because their voice doesn't necessarily match the picture either.
Never.
So that's the hardest part, because when you're dubbing over the Japanese, they always have one flap at the beginning that stops, and then the rest of the line. So that's why it was always like, hey, I'm going to say the rest of my line now, or whatever it is.
It's hard.
So, we all love Vegeta, right? That's why y'all are here, right? But Vegeta's made some pretty boneheaded decisions in the series. He let Cell become perfect. He got selfish and allowed Majin Buu to be unleashed, and so on and so forth. What do you think is the most boneheaded decision Vegeta's ever made in the franchise? Ryan,
Underestimating Goku.
Letting Yamcha hang out at Bulma's place too often.
Yamcha made that mistake.
How long after Yamcha and Bulma dated, he still seemed to live at Capsule Corp or something like that? I swear, Bulma, I'm gonna move out soon, I promise. She kicked him out. Have you noticed in Super? Like, have you noticed? I don't know if you ever get to see Yamcha's scenes, but like, he is by himself a lot in a really crappy apartment that has like cracks in the walls and stuff like that. I mean, he has a penthouse because he has like multiple windows worth of house, but it's really sad. He lives there with his cat and a pink bed and one table that has one potted plant on it. That's all he has in his whole place. Notice it next time you see it.
It's true. But the saddest character on Dragon Ball is Krillin. He dies every time.
Yeah.
I think even Akira Toriyama knew that Yamcha is the worst character.
They say Akira Toriyama hates Vegeta. Do you think so?
I don't think so.
No.
He in the past he said he wasn't a huge fan, but recently, the way it's been written, the stuff he's gotten, I think he loves him now. It's the Goku and Vegeta show. What happened to Gohan?
Yeah. He wore that green tracksuit, it was all over.
It was a demotion. So, we know that the Latin American fandom is rabid. They love this, right? I want y'all to share some crazy fan stories of your time, without obviously giving away any real names. We don't want to incriminate anybody, but any crazy or funny fan stories throughout your years of voicing this character. Renee, Chris.
Well, I'll jump in quickly because it's way, way back. My very first convention I was ever invited to, and it might have been when the show had originally moved, so I didn't even know it was anything. I was invited to a tiny convention in the Boston area. Some kid stole some of his dad's money to put it on, I think. Managed to find a couple bucks to fly me out there, and I showed up at a hotel with maybe 200 people. It was very interesting, and that when I knew that it was something, I was pulled out of a dinner event, and someone said, you have to come outside. There's a girl here, she maybe was 18 or so, that has to leave because she's only allowed to be here for the day. And I'm at this con. Most people are just being cool about meeting me. And as I left, she was most excited because of Dragon Ball Z. And I came out of this event because she had to go home, and she was literally shaking and vibrating when I came out towards her and started to cry. And I was like, what to do? What happened? Am I that ugly? What? And she was like, and had to get a handler come to help her. We thought she was going to pass out. And then she just talked about Dragon Ball Z and how much she loved the show. I still remember that moment and going back into the room going, man, this show is weird. It's got some crazy fans. And of course, that was when it was nothing. Now it's all you amazing people. So I'll never forget that moment of meeting that girl who was so excited.
Oh, do you have one? Do you have a good one?
I have a lot.
Let's hear some
American stories. These are the
those are the ones. Yeah, I would love to hear it. It's crazy down there.
I'm gonna try to say it in English. We were at the Panama airport, So we were about to leave on a plane. We were on to take a plane to take us to Mexico. We were on a scale. How do you say it in English?
A luxury private jet.
And we were on the line just to get the plane, and some police officer from the airport came to us and said, "Oh, you're the voices of the Drummond," and we said, "Yeah, we are. Come with me, please." and we said, but the plane is about to leave. Come with me, please. I said, okay. So we went with her. It was a woman officer. So she took us to a labyrinth into the Panama airport. The doors were open and open and open, and the last one opens, and we saw a sign, a big sign, who says Interpol. You know, Interpol is the... and I said to Mario, you bring something with you? from Colombia? And the officers were there, and they said, hey, take a picture with us. And we said, but the plane is about to leave. And they say, that plane is not gonna leave if we say it's not gonna leave. Okay.
That's
So,
terrifying.
That's terrifying. And we asked them, how do you know? We were there, we were looking at the security cameras of the airport. We saw you, and I said, well, that's the story.
I've always wondered, I've sometimes wondered if there's some sort of weird apocalyptic event and we go into this like martial law type of thing in America, and my skill set will be completely useless because all I know how to do is talk really pretty. So I just imagine myself having to find the protection of somebody who was once a Dragon Ball Z fan back when electricity was around. And it would seem luxurious, but he's like, hey, just come out here and do the Vegeta voice thing, bro. Just sit on a flash. Like, find a flash! Okay, go back to your room, man. We'll feed you tomorrow. But the weirdest fan thing I had was I was coming out of a hotel room, a hotel in Chicago, and I saw this guy who I thought was like the valet or something like that. He goes, "Did you need a car?" I go, yeah, well, actually we did. He said, "Where are you going?" I'm like, Gino's East or something. He goes, "Sir, follow me." So he points out in a black SUV. We get in the black SUV, and then he gets in the car, and he starts driving. And I go, "Whoa, actually, are you an Uber driver?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I used to be, man." I was like, well, what are you now? What are we doing? Where are we going? He goes, "You going to Gino's East, right?" I'm like, yeah. And then he goes, "You guys want a beer?" I'm like, wait, what is happening here? And then I was like, no, that's okay. He's like, seriously, I'll get one. I look up on the screen, and there's like a Dragon Ball Z video, like one of the Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F or something, playing like from a weird angle, like as if it was recorded from the second seat in the theater or something like that. I was like, "Are you a Dragon Ball Z fan?" He's like, "Yeah, hold on one second." And he stops the car, and he goes, "You've got to call my daughter. You've got to call my daughter." I was like, "Are you serious? Did you just kidnap us?" And he's like, "She really wants to get into voice acting and stuff like that. Can you give her some tips?" I'm like, "Oh my God, can we please get to the restaurant?" And I paid him. I did actually pay him just to get out of the car. And he ended up dropping us off at the wrong place. I don't even think if he knew the restaurant I was talking about. But that was by far the weirdest, yeah.
Kidnapping, yeah.
Can you do a my boomer?
Well, of course, how would I say it? That's my boomer!
That's great.
You know, Rene, something we did in the English, American dub of the show is that do you know in Super when they get the copy Vegeta section? Instead of playing the copy, I actually called Brian, and Brian played copy Vegeta. So I'm sure you're all aware of that,
Of course. Like the jelly.
the purple version of it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What guy, someone called him Jello Vegeta or something today?
Jello Vegeta.
Are you gonna do it right now?
do it right
No,
now.
I mean the part of the two of you doing the copy and
All I remember is like rooting, like Vegeta at that moment is remember he's having a very hard time deciding who he wants to win because he wants to root for himself, but at the same time he doesn't want to die because he's disappearing like Marty McFly or something like that. And he has a pacifier.
Yes.
I just remembered hearing his first words that came out of his mouth when he was recording with us remotely, and it just felt so good to hear Drummond's voice again, man. I know we talked about this last year, but it's so good to see you once a year.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to help a terrible filler episode be interesting.
You made it better, I think. I think you made it better.
Thank you.
So,
Okay.
in Dragon Ball Z, there's this kind of symbolism where when Vegeta shows up, he's got, the Saiyan armor, and then as the series progressed, he wears less and less armor. Like in the Frieza saga, he had the white armor, then he had like the no strap, or the strap without the shoulders. Then in the Blue arc, he's got all blue. And that's supposedly symbolic of the fact that he's shedding away his past and becoming a new man, and you know how Toriyama is.
Oh, really?
This is the guy who knows.
Really?
Yeah, he knows all this.
So, where do we go with Vegeta from here? He's no longer, he doesn't hate Kakarot anymore. He's okay with fusing now after Broly. He has a daughter. Where do we go from here with the character? What do you think?
Or are you talking about what he's going to wear? Like how little did he wear? Is he just going to be a Speedo, like a Technicolor pickle dish? I don't know.
Could be. You know, with the fan ask, I don't know if it's the case with you, but sometimes the fans ask questions like, do you remember in the chapter number 182 at the 12th minute with 25 seconds when you said that? What do you mean? I mean, what do you feel? And I said, I don't know. I don't even know what was the chapter.
Yeah, people get very, very specific.
Very specific.
They go, "What's your favorite quote?" I go, "Oh, you tell me yours because I don't want to ruin it sometimes." So.
Well, you don't have this word in English, insect. You never say that in English. Because in Spanish, insecto is the quote of Vegeta. And it wasn't on the script. I invented it.
Nice.
Because the director, Gloria Rocha, she said to me, you have to say something to solve the bill. I said, but something that really, and I said, stupid, no, this is for kids. She didn't know that it's for kids, no, imbecile, no, something. And I said, what? Insect, I said, insecto in Spanish. Okay, yes. And that's the signature of
That's his catchphrase.
Vegeta in Spanish.
That's awesome.
This is showing some ignorance on a mind about kind of how your dub was handled, but was the goal when you were recording Dragon Ball Z, 23 years ago, was the goal for it to be kind of for a younger audience where you...
We didn't know at the time. We didn't know it's gonna be what it is now, this phenomenon. We just do it like not any other job. We were making so many animes and so many other things, and we didn't know. So we thought it was just a cartoon. Huh?
Yeah.
No, we did it with very passion, and it was our job. But we didn't know it's gonna be what it is now. This huge international thing.
We knew it was for little guys, because clearly when we started 25 years ago, everything we had to say, it had to be very PC. They're drawing like dirt over Gohan's little bare bum and stuff like that, and covering up all the blood is brown, and we would wonder, and it's like, well, it's for, a YTV or Cartoon Network, it's for kids after school, under 10 kind of thing, and I'm like, okay. So we had to come up with new ways to say things. We couldn't say hell. And sometimes it was still left in the scripts, and I would just miss it, and it's like, You know, we're gonna blast you to hell, and then like, oh no, Brian, we can't. We got another dimension. We can't say that. We can't say hell. Okay, we'll redo it.
You have that thing here. You ban words from the W.
They don't necessarily ban them, but in the earlier versions that we did, especially, and we still do some of these versions for like the Southeast Asia dub of it, where they must have this group of the most PC people in the world that are all meet in this one room and decide what words are bad. Like you can't call anything an idiot, you can't call it dumb, anything you wouldn't want your kid, like a 6-year-old saying to another 6-year-old, I guess.
Yeah.
We have to do at least a version of it. Not everybody sees that version, but
yeah, and that was most of what we had to do.
I mean, back when you guys first started, like the whole concept was this has got to be successful for children.
For children, yeah, yes, that's what it was for. This group was not who they were in this show for.
Well, I guess in a way they were just 20 years ago.
We were kids back then.
They were children now.
We were kids back then, though.
You were kids back then,
We were kids back then. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Y7 version. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when you record that, like you have to double the lines. Like you have to do a line like "I'm gonna kill you," then right after you say "I'm gonna defeat you" or whatever, right? Like, and you have a copy of it in case you have to send it out for the super clean, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, we usually say that like once more for the children, please.
That's right.
Oh, and I'm super jealous to have not had an opportunity to be able to, you know, do you guys get to swear? You swear at all or no?
Oh, we've got to, yeah.
Yeah?
We've
So
got
you
to
just
swear.
You just say kill and hell and swear and just really like, because Vegeta's a visceral guy, but to have to sort of soften up the words, it was a difficult thing as an actor to go, I just want to, oh no, you can't do that. You have to say, you dummy!
Yeah, exactly.
You dum-dum!
That's how it was,
And
yeah.
it was with Kakra, you fool! We did, fool? What, that's, and I love Insecto!
But wait,
So
so
in one occasion I was dubbing Romeo and Juliet version for Disney. Or Disney was the producer, ABC or whatever. It was Romeo and Juliet, and I was dubbing Paul Giamatti in Spanish. He was the priest of Romeo and Juliet. And all the time he said, oh my God, Jesus, Mary, Joseph, whatever. And for Disney, you cannot say any religion word. Yeah, but it was Shakespeare. And I said to the people in the studio, you want me to change the words that Shakespeare wrote? And they say, yes. And I was, what?
I praise thee, son of gosh.
Exactly.
I have a question. But you, Ryan, okay, so for those who don't know, there is an ocean dub of Kai, and it's vanished off the face of the earth. But, so when you did the ocean dub of Kai, it was still censored?
No, for my ocean dub of Kai, we did get to say hell and things like that. Yeah,
That's the one I want to hear.
Yeah,
Ryan Drummond's
it's
Unleashed.
vaulted ocean somewhere. I don't know what's up with distribution or something like that. I have no clue. We did the whole thing.
So, question for you and Chris. When you guys came back to do Kai, now, because when you first came in, right, you didn't really know what Vegeta's fate was. Now that you know that he eventually becomes a good guy, a family man, when you came back to do Kai, knowing that, did it change the way you performed the character?
Not really. What changed was my voice had probably changed a little bit. It was a little deeper, so I didn't pitch it quite as high. And I probably didn't put, because when that came back, I was on a lot of other shows at that time. When I first started, I was only doing a couple shows a week. I was doing, like I said, G.I. Joe was my first series in 1994, and then in 95 I was doing Dragon Ball Z. So I didn't have a lot of stuff. So when I went in there and screamed, I just blew my guts out, and I was like, yeah, because I didn't have any other work that week. It didn't matter. I was on a lot of shows when it came back and they said they were doing Kai. So even when they called me, I was like, you gotta book me on a Friday because I need a weekend. Like, I'm not doing any Dragon Ball on Monday through Thursday. I'm on other stuff. I'll only do Dragon Ball on Friday. And I still didn't push my voice the way I did before. So I hope it won't be disappointing to hear that when they do hear it, it won't be the kind of visceral, insane, blood-curdling stuff that I did in the original 50, 60 episodes.
I kind of noticed that even Ryo Horikawa was holding back a little bit in Kai as well. I don't know if you all noticed it. Like, Because his screams in Dragon Ball Z were intense, and his screams in Super are phenomenal. It's like he's almost gotten way better over the years, like as an actor too. He's constantly improving. But I did notice that Kai, he was a little bit more reserved. Did you notice that his voice was kind of like a little bit more than normal? So
Yeah. And you see the screams in Dragon Ball. It's hard to do that because they scream like for 2 or 3 minutes sometimes.
And you have a lot of other shows to do. You are thinking as you're doing it, I am going to get fired tomorrow from this Ford commercial I have because I auditioned last week, sounded great. I just did a Dragon Ball episode, and my voice is completely different. So you were thinking a whole different thing while you're working on that kind of work.
It's hard to do the screaming.
by far, though, I think it's the most difficult show I've ever worked on and still continue to work on.
Wow. So we're gonna.
When we get paid for it.
Cualquier programa.
Yeah, we keep looking at you. That's
Most memorable part of any memorable moment. You know what? It's not. I will go outside of Dragon Ball Z just because I've worked on a lot of other shows. But when I showed up to work on Inspector Gadget with Maurice LaMarche, Pinky and the Brain, he plays the Brain. Great actor. But we did a new revamped version a number of years ago, and I was cast as the new Dr. Claw. So the moment I was in a room with Mo LaMarche, he was playing Inspector Gadget, and I got to do the voice of Dr. Claw with him, which I grew up watching.
Yeah.
As a kid, that was like really surreal. I was like, what is happening to me? So it was amazing. That was fun.
Yeah. Maurice LaMarche, that's a guy I think that every single voice person gets nervous around. Like, he's the nicest person ever, but he's just so damn talented. He's so freaking good.
Amazing actor.